Welcome to the All Sorts podcast. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Today we're going back in time.
Way back.
A staggering 42,000 years.
To an event that...
that reshaped our planet.
A magnetic flip-flop.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You mean like the magnetic poles?
Yeah.
They reversed.
Exactly. It's not just that they flipped, though.
Oh.
During this flip, Earth's magnetic field practically vanished.
Vanished. Like completely gone.
Almost. It left our planet incredibly vulnerable to cosmic radiation.
That sounds pretty catastrophic.
It was. And scientists call this the Adams event.
Adams event.
And we're only just beginning to understand its full impact.
Okay, so how do we even know about something that happened so long ago?
We've got these ancient kauri trees from New Zealand to thank.
Kauri trees. What do trees have to do with magnetic field?
Well, these trees were alive during the Adams event.
Oh, wow.
And their rings are like a time capsule.
A time capsule? How so?
They reveal this dramatic spike in radiocarbon levels during the event.
So the trees recorded this cosmic radiation.
Exactly. It's incredible how these silent witnesses from the past can offer such valuable clues.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So we've got these trees telling us about this Adams event.
Yeah.
But we've known about the magnetic pole reversal for a while, right?
Yeah, we have. It's called the Last Champs excursion.
The last Shams excursion.
But the kauri trees are giving us a whole new perspective on it.
What do you mean?
Well, see, we used to think it was a simple flip.
North becomes south. South becomes north.
Right. But it wasn't that straightforward at all. Imagine the magnetic field.
The one that protects us.
Yeah, weakening and becoming unstable for centuries.
Centuries.
That's what happened during this Last Champs excursion.
So the magnetic field was just sputtering for hundreds of years.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And at its weakest point, it triggered the Adams event.
So for a period of time, Earth was practically exposed to the full brunt of space weather.
Yeah, pretty wild, huh?
What kind of effects did that have on the planet? I mean, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It might sound like science fiction, but the consequences were very real.
Like what?
Well, one of the major impacts was on the climate.
The climate. How so?
Remember, Earth's magnetic field helps protect our atmosphere.
Especially the ozone layer.
Right. When the field weakened, the ozone layer was likely damaged.
And a damaged ozone layer means?
All sorts of climate chaos, from ice sheet growth to more intense storms.
Ice ages and superstorms.
It was a pretty tumultuous time.
So did this climate upheaval have anything to do with the extinction of megafauna? You know, the giant animals that roamed the Earth back then.
That's one of the intriguing connections researchers are exploring. The timing of the Adams event aligns with the disappearance of many large animals.
Particularly in Australia.
Right, exactly. Wow. Now, humans had already arrived in Australia by then.
But the Adams event could have been the final straw.
It's possible. The environmental disruption from the event could have pushed them over the edge.
It makes you wonder if the impact was felt globally. I mean, could the Adams event have played a role in the extinction of Neanderthals in Europe as well?
It's a question worth pondering. The Neanderthals were a resilient species.
Adapted to some pretty harsh conditions.
Yeah, ice age conditions for millennia. But even the most adaptable species have limits.
And the Adams event might have been too much for them.
The environmental upheaval from the event could have pushed them beyond their limits.
Wow. The Adams event was a pretty wild ride for life on Earth.
It really was.
But it's amazing to think about the resilience of life that managed to adapt and thrive, even in the face of such drastic changes.
It really makes you realize the power of nature.
To both create and destroy.
And the incredible adaptability of life to find a way. You know, speaking of adaptation, one of the most intriguing aspects of this research is the potential connection between the Adams event and the sudden explosion of cave art.
Cave art.
Around the same time period.
I was just going to ask you about that. It seems like a pretty wild coincidence.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
That right when the Earth is experiencing all this upheaval, humans start creating these intricate paintings and handprints in caves.
It's hard to ignore the timing, and the researchers suggest that the Adams event might have actually driven early humans into these caves.
Driven them into caves.
Remember with the weakened magnetic field?
Oh, right.
There was likely increased UV radiation.
So like a super strong sunburn.
Basically, caves would have offered some much-needed shelter.
Makes sense. So these early artists weren't just creating beautiful works of art.
No.
They were also documenting their experiences and finding ways to adapt to a changing world.
Exactly. It's fascinating.
It makes you wonder if some of those handprints we see in cave art were made with red ochre.
Oh, yeah.
As a form of early sunscreen.
That's a fascinating possibility. Red ochre does have some UV blocking properties.
Really?
It's remarkable to think that early humans might have been using it for protection.
Thousands of years before modern sunscreen.
It highlights how they were observing their environment, experimenting, and innovating to survive.
The Adams event really gives us a new perspective on early human ingenuity and the challenges they faced.
Absolutely.
It's a reminder that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles, life finds a way.
It does. And it's a reminder that we humans are part of this long lineage of survivors.
We've inherited that same capacity for resilience and innovation.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about the dramatic events of the Adams event, its impact on the climate extinctions, and even its potential connection to the rise of cave art. But what happened after the poles flipped back?
Right.
Did things eventually return to normal?
Well, in a sense, yes. The magnetic poles did eventually stabilize and the field regained its strength.
Okay.
But normal is a relative term.
I guess so.
Earth's systems are incredibly complex and interconnected.
Yeah.
A major event like the Adams event doesn't just disappear without leaving a trace.
So even though the magnetic field recovered, the effects of the Adams event lingered for a long time.
It's like ripples in a pond. Oh. Even after the stone sinks, the ripples continue to spread.
I see.
The Adams event had a profound impact on the planet's atmosphere ecosystems and possibly even human evolution.
And those effects just kept going.
The echoes of those changes likely reverberated for millennia.
That's an interesting way to think about it. So we're not just living on Earth. We're living with the legacy of Earth's past events, even those that happened tens of thousands of years ago.
Precisely. And that brings us to a thought-provoking question.
What's that?
What if we're currently experiencing the subtle after effects of past magnetic events?
Events we don't even know about.
Events we haven't even discovered yet. It's a reminder that Earth's history is not just a linear progression, but a complex tapestry of interwoven events, each one shaping the world we live in today.
This has really been an eye-opening deep dive into the Adams event and its implications for both the past and the present. I'm particularly fascinated by those ancient kauri trees and how they've helped us unlock this incredible story.
Yeah. It is a testament to the power of nature to preserve a record of its own history. And it's a reminder that we can learn so much from the past.
If we know where to look.
Those kauri trees are a living library waiting to be deciphered.
They make you appreciate the interconnectedness of everything on Earth.
It's true.
From the magnetic field to the atmosphere to the trees that silently record these changes. It's all part of a delicate and awe-inspiring balance.
And it underscores the importance of protecting these natural archives, not just for their beauty, but for the invaluable knowledge they hold.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder what other secrets are hidden in the natural world just waiting to be uncovered.
Exactly.
And it highlights the importance of understanding Earth's history, not just for curiosity's sake, but because it can give us valuable insights into our present and future.
I agree. The Adams event is a powerful reminder that what might seem like a distant event in the past can have repercussions that ripple through time.
And shape the world we live in today.
Precisely.
Speaking of the future, it makes you think, what if something like the Adams event were to happen again?
Oh.
I mean, our world is so reliant on technology now. What would happen to our power grids, our satellites, our communication systems?
It's a sobering thought. A major magnetic field collapse today would undoubtedly have far-reaching consequences.
Yeah.
It really highlights the importance of studying these events, not just to understand the past, but to prepare for the future.
So what can we learn from all of this?
Well, we can look to the resilience of life that survived the Adams event.
Like those kauri trees.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How can we apply that knowledge to mitigate the potential impacts of a similar event in our modern world?
That's a great question.
These are questions worth exploring.
It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it?
It does.
It makes you appreciate the delicate balance that sustains life on our planet and the forces, both seen and unseen, that shape our world.
It underscores the importance of scientific inquiry.
Of what?
Of constantly seeking knowledge and understanding so we can better navigate the complexities of our planet.
And the universe beyond.
Exactly.
Well, this deep dive into the Adams event has certainly been thought-provoking.
It has.
It's amazing how a few ancient trees in New Zealand can unlock such a profound story about Earth's past and spark so many questions about our present and future.
It's a testament to the interconnectedness of everything on Earth.
And the power of scientific curiosity to illuminate the mysteries of our world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, I think it's time to wrap up this incredible journey back to the Adams event. But before we do,
yes,
we'd love for you to continue the exploration. If you're as fascinated by this topic as we are, be sure to check out the show notes for links to the research and articles we've discussed today.
And if this deep dive has sparked your curiosity about other wonders of our world, we invite you to explore the vast library of episodes we have waiting for you.
Right here on the All Sorts podcast.
From the depths of the ocean to the far reaches of space, we've got a universe of knowledge to share.
So hit that subscribe button on YouTube so you never miss an episode. And while you're at it, connect with us on X, Instagram, and Threads. We love hearing from our listeners, and we're always eager to dive into new and exciting topics together.
Remember, the universe is full of wonders, and the All Sorts podcast is your guide to uncovering them.
Until next time, keep those minds curious and those imaginations ignited.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on this epic adventure through time and space. We'll see you in the next Deep Dive.